Today, while I rushed to catch the metro at Zuidplein, I went through the check-in gate, and at the same moment some skinny, tall, unsymmetrical, long-armed, dreadlocked Negro yelled, "Fuck die Blanken, fuck those whites." Do not forget, we are at war, constant. This war is about ideas and ideals at first, but it's a war nonetheless. This is a pre-direct physical war, a Trojan horse before the siege. More poisonous ideals spreading, more invaders entering and breeding, more preparation in our disadvantage before the bloodshed. The advantage of this modern society is the easy detection of the inferior within our species. For example, I just arrived 1 week ago in the Netherlands, after having been in Moscow for one month. The first thing I thought to myself was, so many filthy, fat, disgusting manimals are living here in contrast to Moscow. But the thing is, in Moscow and in Russia in general, the people earn less money combined with, for them, higher living expenses and thus have less choice to take the path of least resistance, such as sitting on your ass all day, or eating and drinking whatever you like at the expense of your health, or being so empty-minded and dress up like an attention-whoring cow, a proud degenerate thinking that changing his or her outer appearance is the same as the change of your essence. Such persons expose themselves. Their essence is constant quote-unquote change. Changing within the time-space they are living in. No resistance. The past has to be forgotten and ridiculed as being primitive, or being unimportant, old-fashioned. They are sheltered minds, stunted. The past is only to be seen in museums or in documentaries. They do not see themselves as a continuation of the past, a constant summing of what they and those before the birth were. Genes are an encoded manifestation of the outer appearance and mental condition. If the mind is unhealthy, the body is, if the circumstances allow. The body seems healthy? Take a look at their clothing, their hairstyle, the music they like, what they watch on television, the F-art they like. The second skin they put over the first reveals again their inferior minds. Don't let yourselves be fooled. This is our war, and this war is not of the last 100 years. This war is much bigger and manifested itself deep within the minds of our people. Deep, I mean the mimetic social war is much older than for example 500 years. Deep means genetic. It is rooted within our species due to centuries of societal selection, domestication and certain docile traits filtered within our gene pools. The ideal Christian, the perfect citizen, the loyal communist, the dogs. This has to be rooted out violently. This specific war is about to finalize and the sheltered minds will be awakened. But of course, their denial of reality will become their ending. Fight and adapt, or die. Choose your allegiances and be prepared to fight and die for them, to secure them for your offspring and brothers in war. But if these allegiances are outside reality, die with your idealistic inferior seed in your mind and testicles without having produced any worldly fruits. Know the value of the earthly. Learn how to get and prepare food. Learn the basics of body treatment. Learn fighting skills. Learn that all is selfish. Get to know nature, that she does not care about you. Adjust your mind to reality, that most of your moral conducts are socially constructed within human artificiality, thus within sheltered, unnatural living conditions. Morality and righteousness are relative to the time-space you live in. When you buy your food, you do not know its past. You do not see any remnants of the slaughter, no physical reality of what the meat used to be before sliced into pieces. The taste and everything is artificial, but also, you do not know the animal, the hunt. If you would have hunted an animal down yourself with your own energies, your self-made weapons, your patience, dedication, Won't you, after having eaten some of it, just throw the rest away? Get to know the value of living. I will quote Marquis de Sade. There's no afterlife, so your conduct does not matter. Merely the child of local custom, morality is relative to culture and geography, and therefore fictive. Nature is our only ethical guide. Humans are no more significant to nature than insects. And since nature uses matter from dead life forms to create new ones, crime, destruction, and death are necessary and pleasing to her. Therefore, murder is good, and a mass murderer is the highest human type. End of quote. Massacre is good if it serves your ego linked to the genetic and intellectual legacy you belong to as an individual within a species. Not just physical murder, but mimetic murder. Kill the artificial ideals. Genes are the hardware, memes the software. Sometimes the hardware is superior to the software, sometimes the software is superior to the hardware. Know to discriminate between superior and inferior. Implant a healthy meme into the minds, one in correlation with their intellectual capacity and understanding. One can implant the ideal of freedom in a natural born slave's mind, and he will repeat this ideal as a parrot without actually understanding this concept. Such a meme, for example, is superior over such genetic thesis. In this war, as is in most, only a minority will fight another minority, while the majority will accept any given authority imposed upon them. They who are willing to fight for their existence simply take it, and killing those who, and destroy that which stands in the way, that is how natural law works. Nature does not care about your IQ, or about the inventions of a race if they do not put them on the top of the pyramid. Nature does not care about human rights. The only law is self-preservation, and to preserve self is to preserve the species you belong to, genetical and mimetical. Revive old traditions and create new ones. Revive and create the dance, the poetry, the virile becoming. I will quote Satir. Females were always keepers of the tradition, defenders of the status quo, until it changed. Then they become the defenders of the new status quo. Female sexuality is the best served by social stability. This is why today it is females who are being seduced, mind-fucked, turned against their own people, their own blood. What is the best way to get rid of a bloodline, a race, a tribe? Very messy and costly. Kill all its males or let time do it for you, less messy and cheaper. First seduce the females, their destiny is sealed then. Women have always been the carriers, nurturers of traditions. They passed on to the children food preparation methods, spiritual practices, stories, culture. Males created, females nurtured. Now you see a shift. How many women cook? How many uphold their traditions, or even know them? The shift is not towards liberation, but towards a new dominant male, the institution. They become career women, giving in to the newly forming traditions of modernity. They have shifted allegiances. No liberty, they only found a new master. The old traditions, associated with male tribes, are disappearing, and along with them the tribes and the bloodlines that created them. Modern traditions are emerging, associated with institutions, abstractions, producing, consuming. A new lifestyle of hedonistic overconsuming is becoming the paradigm all emulate. To remain infantile is the new cool. Quantities over qualities, because quantities are accessible to all if they work hard enough, whereas qualities are exclusionary. End of quote. Know that one should not fight those who directly will and already do murder and rape our women and children and are being used to degenerate our minds. Focus upon the enemy within or die with the external enemy. Be careful with whom you associate. These days one cannot tell the difference between sincere and satire. I will end with a poem I just wrote. In the beginning was the sword. The destroyer held it up high and cleft through pages. There they were, hovering through the air, voiceless words, a book, written legislations and summed memories gathered throughout the ages. But after the beginning, because in the beginning was the sword created a new era of spoken poetry, poetry recited and danced upon, circling the life tree. The dances reflected the essence of the volks-spirit and nature. The woman gave birth to sword-wielding men of oath to none but blood. Blood for blood, so goes the law. Oath to bloody legacy, so goes the law. In the beginning was the sword, and the sword so shall be the ending of each cycle uttering its last word.